Blessings, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, and everything else in between. I am your host, the one and only Mr. LP Steven Sykes of Live and Global Media. And today, first and foremost, hope everybody is safe out there on the roads, traveling, plane, trains, and automobiles, bicycles, scooters, e-bikes, whatever, however you traveling. Please be careful out there today. It's a little bit crazy out there today. But happy Thanksgiving, happy holidays, happy, I don't know if it's Kwanzaa yet, Lord forgive me, I should know. But whatever it is for you, blessings to you. I hope everybody is having fun and doing good this traveling holiday season is getting a little bit crazy out there. And I know people are having a hard time. We're getting still trying to push through the election, trying to push through all these other different things out there, but we're going to make it. But first and foremost, so welcome. And also to our guest tonight, we're going to have a couple more people may join in, but we do have the lovely Shy Love. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing all right and things. Now, I just want people to know that this lady is one of the richest people in Virginia, and she's always trying to show that she's humble and lives in her nice background setup, but she really didn't want to be in front of the fireplace with all her wine and everything else. So that's just what happened from there.
I agree to all of that. Yes, that's exactly what's
Thank
going to
you. Now,
happen.
for those of us who are not familiar with who you are, do you mind giving a brief introduction of
Mhm.
yourself?
Sure. Well, I have most of my work was in state background. So I'm a state employee, probably by trade, but I'm actually a licensed hairstylist, but I don't do that anymore. I've moved on. I work in healthcare with people with disabilities, and I am an advocate for those who need help speaking up for themselves.
Amen. Thank you so very kindly. I appreciate you for all of that. So today's show, we're going to keep it a little bit short because it's the holidays, and I want everybody to have times with their family and go from there. But today's show is all about doing the right things for the holiday season and getting it together and things. So time to take time out to grow, learn, and things. We call it the Thanksgiving conversation, breaking chains and building bonds.
Mhm.
Now, I want to start off with this conversation is that, you know, I get it. People, for those who are able to spend time with family, or even if you're not, you have to work or spend time with yourselves, or just a couple of people, we have to be thankful. But I want to take it a step further. Besides doing the traditional, what we're thankful for and things, it's time, long past time that we need to start breaking some curses, doing some things, and use this opportunity to grow. Unfortunately, we always do the whole family gathering when somebody's passed away or Christmas, Thanksgiving, that type of thing. And we need to start changing some things with that. We should always try to meet with family a lot more. But then, in addition to that, is use this time not just to sit back, tell a couple of jokes, who's doing what in school, what car, who graduated, and who's winning whatever football game, and sharing recipes and gossiping in the children in the kitchen of who got pregnant, who's dating who. Um, we need to do better. So I was thinking about this topic seriously a whole lot, and I wanted us to have a conversation of things that we need to have more discussion for both men and women together and separately within the genders. Um, we have conversations. A lot of men get together and we talk about football. We may do some gaming, but we also uh, maybe even work on cars or do some things. But we don't talk about what it needs to be better men, better boyfriends, better husband, and learn how to be a husband and how to be a man in today's society, not what society says, and also talk about our health and mental health. Those things are being left by the wayside and we continue to hurt. Same thing for women. We love to talk about how to be a woman, how to be an independent woman, how to get your own bag, all this stuff, but we're not having conversations about how to be better girlfriends and how to be a wife. We're not having those type of conversations and how we can build businesses together within our families, holding each other accountable. Whether we're doing a video or text or whatever, we need to do a better job of this. What are your thoughts regarding this, Miss Love?
Number one, social media. There's a lot, anybody can get on the podcast and say pretty much anything. I think social media has caused a lot of division amongst the sexes, I would say. Um, I try not to comment on those so they don't, I'll try to scroll past if it's something real negative. All of the division is what gets me. It's too much division. Too many people are chiming in with, to negativity. And we have gotten away from, like you said, each other. Like how do you be a good spouse? How do you be a good boyfriend, a good girlfriend? That kind of stuff. So I say that the men need to address the men and hold them accountable, and the women need to address the women and hold them accountable. And I
Mhm.
think that we're lost right now because it's usually a woman on a podcast telling a man what to do, and a man on a podcast trying to tell the women what to do,
Mhm.
instead of the women hold, like I said, the women. And in the real culture, when there's like a tradition or a spirituality of like the boy moving into manhood, usually the women are not present. And the same thing for if a teenage girl or whatever, she's moving into womanhood, is usually some type of ceremony held by just the women. And we don't have those cultural traditions anymore. So we're just
Mhm.
all over the place, lost. that's
You're right.
that's
We don't
that's
have
my
those cultural.
opinion.
You're right. We don't have those cultural traditions anymore and sitting down. And I think we need to have a meeting of the minds where, like you said, we do need to have the separate conversations with men and women and then together. I think what happens, and when you mention that, is that our men are not doing a good job of expressing that we are not, as men, we are not getting an opportunity to speak or express their thoughts without saying, well, you do this and you do that. That type of conversation happens all the time, or and then we speak back to say, hey, we're just trying to hold accountable, and it doesn't happen that way. And the same thing for women, they feel like the men are not hearing or listening to them, and we hear part of the conversation but not the whole thing. We hear what we want to hear, those type of
Yeah.
things. And then also we don't have to talk about our businesses, leadership, things that we can improve. Definitely. I want to welcome in and thank you for kindly joining us, Miss Ross Silk. How are you doing today?
Good evening, everybody. Just popping in for a quick minute, getting ready to get my hands in some good trouble in this kitchen.
Okay, not a problem. We understand. Well, first and foremost, to you and all the women out there and men that are cooking, thank you. You appreciate it. I hope that people do more than just saying thank you and giving people hugs and kisses. It's a lot more these days. First of all, you can't cook a Thanksgiving dinner for $100 no more. That's just be real, and it takes a lot to put this thing together. And with the cost of food out there and what have you, listen, be mindful. First of all, if you can't eat it, don't put it on your plate. Stop trying to look good, whatever. And then also thank the person. Offer some money. Offer to clean, take out the trash, whatever you got to do. Just do something. And three, make your kids do some damn work. I'm sorry. That's my thing. But Miss
Yeah.
Silk, we were talking about the topic of today's conversation is Thanksgiving conversation and breaking chains and building bonds. And what we were discussing about is that we use this opportunity instead of waiting for holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, or somebody passing away. Use the opportunity to not just sit here and talk about same passe, who graduated, what car you got, what sports team, who's sleeping with who got a kid on the way, those normal passe gossiping, whatever conversations. Men need to sit together and have a conversation, holding each other accountable about what it is to be a man, what it is to be a leader, what it is to be a better fathers, better boyfriends, and better husbands. And the same thing for women, being better mothers and better wives. We don't have this conversation on anymore about what it is to be a husband and what it is to be a wife anymore within the genders, and then also sitting together later on and having a conversation about working together in unity, building back that love and trust in our communities. What is your thoughts to that, ma'am?
Well, I heard part of definitely what you were saying, and I think part of the problem, relationship wise, is that a lot of people think they're in relationships when they're actually in situationships, because they didn't have the real truthful conversations. Um, a lot of people are so afraid of being by themselves that they hold back and not have truthful and transparent conversations. And then a year into the relationship, you think that a person's changed, or you're feeling some kind of way when it was always like that. But most people fall in lust before they fall into love. One of the conversations that I had earlier with somebody was that it seems like when the grandparents stopped, um, when they passed on, the elders passed on, all of a sudden the holidays lost the meaning of family. I talked earlier that when my grandmother was alive, it didn't matter what you did on Thanksgiving Day at 3 o'clock, everybody arrived at Nana's house on time, ready for dinner. And then family fellowship started. We caught up with each other. We played games. The men were in the living room watching some kind of sport on TV and fellowshipping with each other. A lot of the women, we were in the kitchen either baking or laughing, joking, playing spades or whatever. So the whole concept of family and getting together has kind of like gone by the wayside. Everybody does their own thing, and there's no central point of where everybody shows up to. Now, for those families that still do that, I commend them, because when do we connect? We should not only be connecting when somebody dies. Some people see people for the first time in a long time at a funeral. Um, and then even then they have pretentious conversation. They share numbers. They say, I'm going to call you, we're going to connect. And then you might do it 1 or 2 times, and then it falls by the wayside, and everybody goes back to what they deem their normal way of life. I think with Black people as a whole is that we forgot that we come from a village. Okay, and the village ate together. We celebrated together. We cried together. We don't do that anymore. We don't. We've become so removed from everything, and everything is microwavable and fast. I used to enjoy being able to sit at my grandmother's side and just snap peas, and that meant like the world. That was like something to look, you know what I'm saying, forward to. And then when I got older, um, baking a cake and getting, using Nana's recipe and getting a thumb up of her approval. We don't do anything that anymore. Young people don't have no time for the elders anymore. They think that they're going to be young forever, and they're going to be able to rip and run forever. So it's sometimes the holidays are not sad because you don't have money or whatever. Sometimes it's just sad to realize that they hold no meaning.
Mhm. That is true. First of all, thank everybody who's watching. Thank you. Oh, my sister Tammy. How you doing, Queen? Thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate you. I definitely catch up with you. And also, Miss Queen. Okay, Miss Queen Benita. Thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate you. She said, I agreed, and I'm reading for those who may be listening but may not be able to see the screen. I agree that it changed when Grandma died, but also some of the younger people got tired of faking around Uncle Nasty that Grandma and them knew about and didn't talk about. We had to fix the trauma. That is a very key.
Say that again.
That
Absolutely.
is
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
is true. Benita, thank you. Because and that's one of those things we got to talk about generational curses. Because listen, listen, hey, I'm famous for speaking the elephant in the room. We know there's toxic family members in a family that was touching and having kids and people in the room and stuff. We've talked about several times. Everybody don't need to be sitting on everybody's lap. Somebody is not inappropriate, but you still bring them along. All those other things. Some people need to stay away. They got mental health issues. All these other things. Yes. And that was one of the things. And I think one of the good sides and bad sides, I blame some of this on our Generation X group that we did not, we were dealing with so much that we went so far right to being permissive instead of, whatever. And now we're trying to, the next few generations trying to swing it somewhere down the middle here, in terms of discipline and traditions and things. And also we have the sports. A lot of our youth are involved in things and other stuff, but still, yes, she is correct. That is something that we do not have those conversations about. One of the things that I wanted to open up and we discuss is that we need to start addressing the patterns, poor patterns of behavior, poor patterns of things and struggles, emotional. I think what's going on in what's literally going on, I can't even say a thing, is what the facts. We are not having conversations because we do not know how to have emotional intelligence within our conversations, toxic behaviors, and how to address them. Shy Love, you mentioned this a lot. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Say that again. Which part? I was just agreeing with everything.
Sorry. Well, no, we talked about, we don't have the conversations. I think on another show and then with each other, we talked about that people are very limited with their emotional communication skills and also toxic behaviors, and we don't address them correctly. Your thoughts?
Well, I mean, so like, again, social media, social media, I think has crippled our communication, with each other. We're not in a good place right now. I think as a whole, just as as all of us together collectively are not in a good place when it comes to communication. We think that we're being social with each other on the internet when we're not. I mean, there's still people who still go places and do things, but then there's a lot of people whose communication is just strictly on the phone or on the computer. And we are we're just dumbed down. We're dumbed down. We're getting dumber. We're getting dumber by the second. I mean, it's really sad. It's a lot. There's so many topics that I could talk about right now for it's about communication. Like people, they read what you say and they don't understand it. They think that you're personally attacking them. Like you said, had a post about disciplining your children for the holidays. If they're not doing good in school, they can't play video games. And it wasn't saying like you weren't talking to anybody specific, but you had a bunch of, or shall I say, Pacific, along with those communication guidelines. And people were, taking what you said personally,
right?
And taking what you said personally. They're quick to attack each other. Again, the social skills are just going out the window. Everything is bad. I saw a woman post something about her college paper, and it was like it was an answer to a question for her college assignment. And I know when I looked at her page, she looked every bit of 40-something years old. And her response to the question was like 2 sentences. And it was like, I wanna, WANNA. And then she said the teacher asked her to expand on it. And she was confused as to why the teacher wanted to expand on it. So people in the comments helped her out, told her how to expand on what her thought was, and don't use what is it called when we use those little words like instead of the proper word? I can't think of it.
Slang.
Yeah. They were telling her don't use slang in her answer. So then later on, she posted the reply and said she fixed everything. But then she still had slang in there. And I don't know, man. It's bad. Like the kids don't learn cursive. The kids are using slang in their papers. They can't, even when you get a text message, you got to decipher the codes of the message because everything is like just 3 letters now. And I don't know. It's all around the board.
It's crazy because it's like, and I'm quite sure most people have heard you're not supposed to write how you talk. But exactly. Then now people get mad if you don't. You politeness, you don't, and then it's just a shame with it. We just don't have those different communication skills. To expand on what Ms. Shy Love was speaking about, I made a post that said that if your child is doing bad, is not behaving, doing bad in school, whatever. Have them set the dinner table, help out in the kitchen, whatever, and put them to work, and then and sit there and address the families and say, hey, what you did wrong and things, and you're appreciative, make them speak, and then also have them clean up, and no football, no games. For whatever reason, people took offense to that. Some people, and it's the stupidest, most asinine, or the audacity. And I think two people just want to have something to complain about, or something because they rather shoot the messenger, basically me, versus comprehension. Because if your kid is good, then you don't got nothing to worry about. Okay, so you don't worry about it. But if you take an offense to it, you really do have something going on with your child. It may not be that particular thing with school, but something else. And you just mad because somebody else is saying it. But if it's somebody else famous says it, then it's okay. Because I'm quite sure there's a lot of other people out there in social media from, whatever. I know DL said it. I know Steve Harvey said it. I know Oprah said it. Whatever. But they want to yell at whatever. But that's just a here or there. But it's just a shame. And you mentioned social media, but the thing about it is that we've always had social media. We just got a fancy name to it now. Before, we had the phone chat lines. We had instant messengers. We had the chat lines online before. Instant messengers, the AOL messengers, the Yahoo Messenger, GChat. We had the chat lines before that. We had the phone party lines on the phone. We had all these other things. We had the personal ad things on the paper. We put a dime or 10 cents. You can put a personal ad. People used to communicate between the TV guide or the local paper or the radio. Whole bunch of things. We had social media, and then same thing. What you said that it would do a social media now is tearing down. They said the same thing back then. Even when we were making tapes for Walkmans and stuff with family. Silk, what are your thoughts to this?
So. I agree with Shai. First of all, when you talk about social media, you can't put all of these people in one platform that doesn't have social skills. Plain and simple. And so it kicked off as a disaster from the start. Second of all, and I agree with you, it's attacking, and you already know me, I'm going to be real truthful. It's poor parenting, because how you talk to your friends is not how you can talk to me. My son could not talk to me the way he talked to his friends and use slang and yo and all of that. My grandkids are not allowed to say yeah or whatever and stuff like that. It's training or whatever. I would never talk to my grandmother that way and stuff. But what again is that we live in this society where people don't like to be told what to do. They don't like to have truthful conversations. When you try to have a truthful conversation, it becomes a full-blood out argument, okay? I'm 62 years old, and I have never disrespected my auntie, ever. I have never backtalked at her or whatever, because that's how we were raised, okay? We were raised to respect adults, okay? Somewhere along the line, it became, you got to give respect to earn respect, right? And I get that to a degree, okay, to a degree. But when we're talking about our elders, it's like, okay, my mom is in her 80s. She's a grown woman in her household, and I'm a grown woman in my household. My mom is sitting here with me right now. If my mom plucks my nerves, I kiss my mom in the forehead and I say, okay, Sandy, love you, and go. I'm not going to sit and argue and go toe to toe with my mom, because she's earned that right. And so I think that, like I told you before, a lot of the times that you post, we have these new age parents that want to be their children's friends versus being their parents and being liked by their children. Okay. You can't party and smoke and get high with your kids and then expect them to be your friend and to respect you. Number one. Number
Or see
two,
you going in and out like
there
that.
are some people that have had open relationships with their children, and it is very, very successful. Okay, but that is not the norm. That is not the norm, and we shouldn't act like that's what the norm is. Children need structure, they need discipline, and they need order, and they need to lead by example, right? And so what happens is that you think that it's okay for them to do that until, like Shai said, they have to go in the boardroom and speak during a meeting, or they have to come somewhere. One of the most, and you know the type of work that I do, the most aggravating thing for me is talking to somebody and going, I'm saying, excuse me. Now I'm from the streets of Brooklyn for real. I understand slang. Some of the stuff that these kids be saying, I'm like, what the hell are they talking about? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But no, I don't know what you're saying. Okay,
Right.
I'm gonna need you to spit that out. And so I think that it's okay, like if you have these broken language with your friends and y'all understand each other and how to
Mhm.
communicate. But then we also have a responsibility to teach them how to communicate outside
Right.
of the world. You know, I like to travel a lot. Okay. And
Mhm.
so when you go to different countries, just to respect, okay, it's a reason why some of these people go overseas and they ass end up in jail for a year or 2 years or whatever because of lack of discipline. Okay, because realistically, for me as an adult, before I go to any country, I read up on that country and I
Right.
see what their rules, their regulations are, what they like and they don't like. You know, Mr. LP, I have a brother who loves to joke around, right? And when he
Mm.
told me that he was going to Dubai, I
Mm.
said, okay, dude, I'm gonna need you to tighten up because shit that you find funny, don't let
Mhm.
them call me from Dubai and telling me that they holding you. You see what I'm saying? And so, because there's different every country. Now, to us, we wouldn't probably give a second look. And I know coming from New York City, we would not give a second look at somebody taking a poster out of the train station, right? But that guy
Mm.
taking a poster out of the train station in China ended up getting him whipped, flogged, and sent home dead. You see what I'm saying? So it's
Absolutely.
all
Yeah.
about disciplining and educating our children how to respect other areas, other countries, other people's opinions or whatever and stuff. And
Yeah.
even though I may not agree what an elder will say, I will listen because there's always going to be some kind of jewel in there that you can take away. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And learn from. The sad part is that you don't miss it until it's gone.
Yeah.
Mm.
Then when
Yeah.
it's gone, then that's when you begin to miss it. So I do agree with Shy. I agree that we have to do better in our social skills and communicating. Me and my husband made it a rule a long time ago. When we go out to dinner, our phones stay in the car because the most
Mm.
aggravating thing is looking around a restaurant, right? And everybody's sitting at a restaurant and a table, and everybody at the table is on their cell phone or texting or reading as what there's no social between each other. You don't have anything to talk about, because
Yeah.
everybody's on, and stuff their phone. And so I just think that it's like even with my son, with my grandchildren, he limits the amount of time that they are on
Mm.
electronics so they can use their brain or whatever. We talked about this on previous shows, Mr. LP, or something as simple as going to a supermarket and
Mm.
the cash
Mhm.
register is not working and they want to shut the whole business down, or the cashier go, oh, I'm sorry, my line is closed because my register doesn't work because it doesn't tell them how much change to give back. They don't
We're
have
not
the
taking
mindset.
cash. No cash.
Exactly. We're not taking no cash. Like all of a sudden cash to become a bad thing, or like
Mm.
something costs $12.99 and you give somebody a penny, okay,
Mm.
and a $20 bill, and they go, the girl said to me, you can't do that. I'm like, what? Like the
Their brain does
mindset.
not compute.
Exactly. It's like you just threw like water into an electrical fire. They just, like Shy said, they can't compute it.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's crazy. Well, first, I want to also thank for everybody for listening, watching. Hello, Monique Duval. Lord Jesus, my beautiful cousin. Her
Happy
and hello,
Thanksgiving.
Kenny. Um, Tracy, this lady, I got to get you to speak with. Good topic, but God bless you all and happy Thanksgiving. Thank you so very much. First of all, hello. I'm going to be respectful. Hello, Miss Sandy, right there. Hello, ma'am. I hope she hears me. I'm not going to be.
Steven said hi. Steven said hello. She said hello, Steven.
Because I am not going to get myself in trouble and not acknowledge who's. That's the thing. How many kids? That's another thing. I kid, but I do highly respect her mother. And even if I never met her, she's there listening. I'm going to say hello. That's the
Yeah.
thing. How many times we at these family gatherings, these kids are in and out of the door or whatever. Don't bother to acknowledge people, even if you don't like somebody. Have
Yeah.
the common courtesy to acknowledge, hello, Miss Uncle so and so, this, that, and the other, whatever it may be. It's something like
Mhm.
that. One of the things that we got to do is breaking down silos, encouraging interfamily conversations, and especially interfamily regarding religion, politics, and race. Because we are now, we not that we haven't been, but we are a very highly diverse culture here and very interracial mix, and what have you, and foods, traditions, whatever. We're going to have to start breaking down some of these silos and things. And so, open the floor to y'all. And those who are listening on social media, I want you to please comment. And thank you for commenting and listening. And even after the show, I highly encourage to send us emails, comment, and what have you, because we do literally follow and read and post your comments, and we want to acknowledge you and thank you. But I want to open this up to everybody with the sound of my voice. How do you open lines of communication that may have within your family that may have been closed for years? So and so is coming by, didn't like them because something happened, a bad family deal, money was loaned. Someone didn't give me the tea set. Someone didn't show up at the funeral. Did wrong. Whatever the case may be. Someone shot somebody. How do you open lines of communication that have been closed for years?
I'm not sure that
I need an answer because I have that in my family with two sisters.
Ooh, okay.
They are both in their 70s. I need help.
I'm sorry. Did you say you have two sisters in their 70s?
Yeah, two sisters in their 70s.
Okay. Well, so I'm going to challenge you. How would you want to open up the lines of communication? And it's very difficult and I'm going to be honest, it's difficult for women, especially men and women who are older, because like Silk says, communication is different. What's up? So
it has an echo. Can you hear it?
Yeah, I hear you. Is that you, Silk, or me?
Wait a minute, I think it's gone now.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, maybe it's on her. So yeah, how would you open that?
Well, oh gosh, I don't know. I don't know. So I'm at a crossroads now because whenever they are around each other, I don't know. I don't know. Okay, basically there was some childhood trauma that happened when they were little children. So one sister did not grow up in the house with the other siblings.
Okay.
And I think that she feels like her parents gave her away because she was raised by her father's sister. So she was raised by her aunt.
Okay.
The rest of the siblings were in the house together. And I think, and that's where it started. And so throughout the, and that for me, I think, in my opinion, that's where it maybe has started there. And then throughout the years, these two sisters, they have lived with each other, and there would always be something going wrong between them. And now they are all the way in their 70s, even though they don't look like they're in their 70s. They look like they're in their early 60s, but they are in their 70s. And I would love for them to get along, but I don't think it's ever going to happen. And when I've approached them separately about it, they are both like, she did this to me when I was this age and this age and this age, and then this happened and then that happened. And then it's like, oh God, why did I even bring that up? Never mind.
Well, you did the right thing. It happens that way sometimes, but that doesn't mean I'm not going to say never, because I'm always going to be the eternal optimist and think positively. I do realize some things, and you did the right thing by opening up, because at the end of the day, you can only be responsible for your part. We can't complain, and then you didn't make the effort, and you made your effort, and you done your part. Thank you, and I'm glad you told that story, because a lot of people just keep staying away. And you keep looking at different ways to approach it, and people got to learn to deal with that hurt and the heal. And you put that responsibility on them and reminding them subconsciously and spiritually that you got to at some point in time let that mess go, or
Yeah.
you're going to always hurt. You're going to always heal. I have problems healing. Excuse me. Thank you very much, Ms. Johnson. I'm sorry about the echo. We're getting it going and things. We're fixing it in. Silk, what are your thoughts on this?
I'm just a totally opposite now. I'm at the
Okay.
age now where I don't give a damn. If we ain't get along all of this time or whatever, we ain't gonna get along. And just because you're family doesn't mean that I need to let you into my space for bullshit. That's just it. I've tried to play the mediator. I've tried to play the host. I've tried to bring together. And in the interim, all it did was get my feelings hurt. So now I'm to the point, love me, like me. It is what it is. Okay, because one of the things that I find is that especially with family and Black families, we try to hold toxic people just because they're family. Okay, if a stranger, if you wouldn't take shit from a stranger, I'm not expecting it taking it from family, plain and simple. And so it's a tough pill. That doesn't mean that I don't love you. That doesn't mean that I wish anything bad to happen for you. I just don't want you in my space. Okay, I don't. I'm to that point. I am truly my mother's child and my father's child. It gets, you know that, Stephen. It gets to the point where, okay, you keep bending over backwards and turning the other cheek. Well, shit, I only got two. And I don't think I done turned like 10 or 12 of them. I ain't got no more cheeks to turn. It is what it is. Okay, plain and simple. I think
Understand.
that I think that unless a person wants to heal themselves, okay, and realize, okay, you don't get to decide when I say that you've offended me or you've insulted me. You don't get to decide that. What you do, like if someone says to me, if Shy says to me, you know what, Silk, you offend me. My response to her would be, well, I'm sorry you feel offended. I'm not sorry for what I said, but it was not my intent to offend you. Okay. But
That's a
you
beautiful way to end it.
right. But we keep giving people that are in family passes to be okay, to be disrespectful, to take advantage, to use and abuse. And I just don't think that that's okay. I don't think that's okay. And so, like, now I'm at the age and the thing, I like my peace. I'm not going to stress myself. I'm not going to get my blood pressure. I'm the one person in my family, praise God, that currently doesn't suffer from high blood pressure. So at 60 something years old, I'm not going to start now by stressing over somebody else's stuff.
Well, when I come around, you keep telling me I will raise your blood pressure. So which is it?
You just happen to be that type of person. You just happen to be that type of person to bring out the worst. But no, I mean, that just, and I know to some people that seems really cruel. But if you take a long, hard look at some of the people in your life that you have repeatedly made exceptions for or taken crap for, you'd be like, you would never take that shit from a stranger. You would
No,
never take that from somebody else or whatever. But because they're family, they keep getting a get out of jail card, free card, or a pass. Not cool. Nope.
No, I agree with you. I'm not saying you take.
I was
I'm
going
not.
to say, oh, go ahead.
I'm saying I'm not agreeing to say keep taking abuse and things like that. I'm just saying that when there's for the right things that we need to take.
No, you should, yeah.
Okay. Like always have the peace. Don't get me wrong, but when there's open lines, and I'm talking about for the small things and the things that are not that serious that people have come. What popped up? I'm sorry. Yes, yep. Our peace is paramount. Same thing. Yes, ma'am. You're correct, Benita, very much. It's the aspect of when the small things. I mean, I think people know where we're coming from. I'm not sitting there saying that the people that's constantly disrespecting have no desire to change. You just there because the sack of there because you got to show up and be out. the troublemakers that's looking to do that? No, of course, we're not saying about that. But we're just talking about, when there's opportunities to grow and heal and change. And especially we've all heard the stories, or in some cases now, people were, like you said, people were sent away. That was a common thing. If you got pregnant early, you were sent away. If something happened, whatever, you got sent away. Someone that cheated or had whatever, sent away. All these different things. So
But Mr. LP, you just did the same exact thing, right? So no one has the right to judge what's a small thing to somebody. Okay.
Correct.
What may seem like a real small thing to you may be a monumental thing to them. Like I said, I don't know Shy's sisters and them, right? But for me, I'm only speaking for me. If I was in that situation, I would assume that there would be some hurt feelings, there would be some jealousy, there would be some why me, or whatever. And so years of unanswered questions, because those are conversations that never came up. So, and then like we said, the one thing we do in Black families well is ignore stuff. We ignore the elephant in the room. We don't have those, conversations. You know what? Somebody in that family may have never set that child down and said to her, it wasn't that we didn't love you. We sent you away because we loved you, because we were maybe not financially able at that time, or whatever the situation is of the family is, but we just push things to the side and ignore it and think that it's going to go away, and then I'm going to tell you, because I'm speaking from my own family dynamics, right? What happens when you don't have those conversations, those children create their own illusions in their own mind of what their upbringing and their life would be. Where there's loads of times I look at them and I go, what the hell are you talking about? That didn't happen. But in their mind, they are 100% convinced that this is what the reality is, because that's the narrative that they've created for themselves, because no one has had, because as soon as you go to have the conversation, it's like, no, don't, because I don't want to get these people upset or whatever. So we sweep it under the rug, sweep it under the rug, sweep it under the rug. The rug is now a mountain of stuff that we can't hold anymore. And so those may be the things. So to us, it may seem like something so small, but to that person who lived that, it may be something. And then the other part of that is, like Shy said, that young lady was sent to go live with somebody else. You don't know what kind of life. Shy didn't share with us what kind of life that person had over there. That person may have been really, really good, but that person could have been strict. That person could have been evil. That's what I'm saying. So with that as well, you can't blame them for being angry, because they carried a cross that they feel like they didn't have to carry, because nobody else had to carry that cross. Why me?
I'm not saying I'm not calling it small. I'm not calling side sister situation small. I'm saying I don't know. When I say it could be small, and I'm not saying, because I don't know what situations is big at all. So I'm just saying it could be big, it could be small. If you thought I was saying calling your situation small,
no, you were speaking in general.
Right? What it could be big, it could be small. I'm not judging it because I don't know. I'm just saying for that person, they have to look in with them to see and make that call for themselves. And what is big and what is small, because that's another thing there. Preacher tonight, what's small faith? Just like others who did messed up because it was a long time ago. No, we need to talk about it. Ignoring it doesn't make it go away. Agree. That's why I was saying open these lines of communication, and for important. But go ahead, Shy. I'm sorry.
So for Miss Silk, I just want to say that the ladies now feel the way you feel about your piece. So I just respect it, and they will have to share some spaces sometimes, because we're a family and we have birthday parties to attend, and things of that nature. But as far as really trying to get them to sit down, I don't think that's ever going to happen at this point, because they have expressed, like you said, this one says she's at peace over here and it's fine, and then the other one says she's at peace over here and she's fine. So now, I just have to let it go. But in my mind, in a perfect world, of course, I can fix this. But it's not going to happen. So I just have to, accept it.
Hats off to you for doing your part, spiritually as a family member and as a person. Thank you for doing your
I
part.
do want to say one more thing though, Stephen.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like a lot of us are programmed to want to try to fix things between people that probably shouldn't even be fixed, because I have someone else that's close to me that is going through something with a really, really close family member to them. And in my mind, I want that person to fix it, but that person can't fix it because they didn't even cause the problem themselves. So I had to have my own moment of recognition. And like she said, like Silk said, if a stranger was doing these things to your loved one, you wouldn't want your loved one to go and make up with, and accept this behavior from a stranger. So no, we should not accept bad behavior from relatives. We can forgive them and love them from a distance, but I have to get myself out of that mindset of we're related, so let's be kumbaya. Some people you just related and that's it, and it doesn't mean much.
I understand. It's just that it's a judgment call. We can't throw a blanket statement. A blanket solution for each one. We all know which can and which can't, because we know that just as they did in the mob and grandparents or great grandparents, you sit here, we're going to hash this out. And you didn't leave that room until it got checked out. But then that's always, and in truth, as much as we joke about it, that may not have been the best way to fix it, because in some things, some people just need to stay away from each other, whether they're friends, family, or foes, whatever. And this does not work out. We would like to. In a perfect world, we need to. And maybe down the line, it may be a big thing, it may be a small thing, whatever the case may be for that individual. That's something when they say sometimes it's things best left alone, because those two people will have to work it out whenever. And now the one thing I will say to that is that if the person is willing to, and that other person may not be ready to receive it, but if the person, we have to recognize it when somebody's saying, you know what, Shy, I acted like a jerk, I didn't agree, whatever, but I want to move past it. I love you. Please forgive me, whatever. I'm falling on my sword to reach out to you. Okay. Now, what happens in a lot of people's situation is, not saying the person in the Shy situation is like, I don't want to hear it. It still got this wall up, and that's fine. What people got to understand is that is fine. And I need families to understand that she may not want to, she may not be ready, she may not ever be ready, but you cannot force it. You have a right to sit there and say, hey, this, that, and the other, I fell on my sword, or blah, blah, blah. Got it. Now, and once you've done that, walk away and be open to whenever that person is. And if they're never, that's fine. You can't force it. And on that person on that other side, recognize that person is falling on their sword and reaching out to say sorry, say thank you. I'm not ready. I will never be ready. Whatever the case may be, I don't want to, or I'm not ready to receive it right now because I'm still working with myself. I'm still mad. I feel like I don't need to deal with you anymore. Whatever that case may be. Both sides got to understand their role in those situations. And that's just an emotional, that's just communication skills 101, or actually 506 that we got to get to in life. I don't want to keep this long and things. I want to go over one last topic as for, in families. What is, and there's a whole host of these things. But one of the things, hey, Tori, blessings, sir. How you doing? Another family member showed up. Thank you so very much, sir. I appreciate you joining in and speaking out. One of the things is what we could do is we need to start building legacies. I'm very big on that, and legacies and holding each other accountable for their individual businesses or family togetherness. Why is it so hard for a group of women in a family, even the ones that are getting along for whatever reason, but there may not, but we can't sit down and say, you know what, we're going to do this, invest, have our stocks, alternative investing, who's not in a home, who's struggling with rent, whatever, why we cannot sit together, because we talk about investing in our communities, and especially in our Black and brown communities all the time. But we do not, but then when it's opportunities such as in our family gathering, why we can't seem to get it together and things. And I'm going to break it apart because I think we've so broken in our communities that we need to start working on ourselves and working within our men and working similar to what Shai stated before. We're working within our women, and our men need to work together, and then we need to come together as the third part. So why is it that we are not getting it together for men and also for women? Shai, I'm going to start with you.
As far as coming together financially?
Well, financial, why are we having a hard time investing within ourselves financially, business?
Just within ourselves?
Fixing it. Why we can't see, like just with the post I made today, the idea of sitting down, turning off the TV and no game and sit there and have a conversation of what's going on and having an open, transparent conversation of what can we do to help each other was so offensive to people. It boggles the mind.
I think a lot of people just don't trust each other. They don't trust each other to tell the truth. I don't know. They might not even trust themselves. A lot of people are immature. I don't know. I can't put. It's everything is just so fragmented all over the place, like a click over here, a click over there. Even within your family, you might have a click over here and a click over there, and it's just a lot of separation. I don't know how to fix that.
Ms. Johnson and Benita Johnson, if you're still on this conversation, I need you to respond to this one because I know you got something to say on this one because I want your opinion on this as well. Well, Silk, what are your thoughts?
I agree with Shai. I think it's a trust issue. I think that it's a lack of hope issue. I think that we have, as a people, have been so misinformed about the power of the mighty dollar that we think it's something that we can't obtain and we can't have. And so we don't focus on it because we just don't believe that it's within our grasp because we always are waiting for the other shoe to fall.
That's very powerful, very powerful. And I do believe that we are missing the trust. And when we speak on something, it goes 1,000 different places. I believe some of it is the fact that we don't trust ourselves. And also we may not be able to articulate correctly what is it that we need. Too many of our family members, and also right now, just on one aspect, too many of our family members are struggling with rent, hurting, and our community struggles. I get it that we all like to have our space and everything else, but things is just, stuff is real. We are not dealing with $200 rent and people getting $3, $4, $2, $3 an hour. There's inflation. Has there always been inflation? Yes, but now the divide is so far apart that it's beyond belief, and unfortunately, it looks like it's getting worse. Ms. Johnson stated, because slavery, because trauma, and some more stuff, we don't trust. Period. That's this doggone truth, and unfortunately. How do we fix that trust? We are going to have to stop with, I think we got to learn ourselves. I don't think many people have got to the point of that, understand who we are as an individual. We may know what we want, this, that, and the other, but we do not know ourselves. Then two, even if we get to that point, how to, okay, now that you know yourself, or have a general working idea and you want to develop it, how to go forward with that and apply it to within your family, children, all these things, because you have to have some structure. And that's another issue. We do not have structure and we do not want structure. I keep saying that I feel our communities lack that and any type of structure or change. You know, you're sick, but you want to keep smoking. You know, you need this going, but you don't want to get to school or go to class. You want to do it your way. Then when something happens, COVID happened, we don't have our certificates, we don't have our paperwork together, and then you couldn't get the money. Then you want to blame everything else in the system, the man, the this, that, and that. But no, you did not want to do your part. Regardless of who's in office, you can have everybody you want in office. Still, you got to do things with checks and balances. We don't want to have structure. And what Tracy said, we lost hope. And I'm also going to throw in that we lost faith. And just regarding whatever your religion is, we lost faith and we lost hope. Now, how we get that back? We got to tackle one thing at a time. We run too many races and trying to do too many things at the same time, where we have to start winning it back at a time. We're at this point where we just have to rebuild our communities. We got to go back to when the Civil War was 67. Silk may know she was 60 at the time, but 1967, when this when the Civil Rights was passed, we started rebuilding our communities. Using Richmond, for example, was one of the biggest, if not the largest, in terms of home ownership population for Black and brown businesses. Our indigenous population worked harder within the reservations to start building and working with the communities and start building what we have before we started stepping out. And somebody was still listening to what's going on out there, so we can translate that information to our other groups. So when you're ready, you were prepared. We're going to have to start doing that. It starts with education. Education is going to, I think, in this holiday seasons, as we get with our families, and we're going to have to start within, especially in the Black community, education needs to be a priority in our homes. That's something that just never was done. There was a time, when somebody went to a Black college or any college, someone went to Harvard or went to any college and got a degree or is going to school. You came home, you treated like you done saved the country by yourself in a war. It was respected. Now, yes, more and more of us are in school, getting a trade or go to college, but it's just like, whatever. We don't support. We'll share a business. We'll share something from Diddy 10 times over, but we won't share somebody else's business. I don't give a dang if it's, it's about whether you like the person or not, or it's about whether this information can help somebody in the community. We don't do these things anymore, and we have to do better. It's now just 9 o'clock. I'm going to shut this down, but I want to give everybody the final thoughts. Raw Silk.
As always, I enjoy speaking with everyone. I think what I want to end up with is, because one of the things we know, like by tomorrow, there'll be 50,000 comments about Thanksgiving. Okay. And as someone who is American Indian, I just want to say that for me, Thanksgiving presents an opportunity for me to, number one, give thanks again to God for all that He's brought me through, but to even thank Him that my mom is here, 83 years old, in her right mind, able to stand up and see her children celebrate Thanksgiving. So Thanksgiving has different meanings for everybody. It doesn't necessarily have to always reflect back to what happened way back when with the Indians and the people that came over here from Europe. I think that a lot of us have a lot to be thankful for, and I think that we should reflect on that. So I'm wishing everyone a happy, blessed, and safe Thanksgiving.
Thank you, Raw Silk. Thank you so much. Shy.
All right, I'm back. I had to go check on my animals. I'm sorry, I heard Miss Silk saying that she was thankful for her family and everything, and that's what Thanksgiving means to her.
Right. I was closing out. I want to give everybody a chance to give their final thoughts.
Oh, well, I just want to say, we just need more unity in the Black community, and hope everybody has a good holiday.
Amen. Thank you very much. I want to get to this last comment here. Miss Benita Johnson, thank you so very much for joining in, always sharing. Agree or not agree, she knows I love her dearly. We get on our knees to pray, but we don't get up to do anything. We have faith, and sometimes too much. We aren't doing the work. I've seen so many people say God is in control. Okay, but God gave us hands. We got to get our hands dirty. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
Say that again. He helps those who help themselves.
Exactly. We got to get our hands dirty. Mm,
I definitely agree with that statement.
very much so. I just want to need people to understand that we got to do better, and we know it. But it's too much of like, don't tell me what to do. You know, change is going to be happening. You know, change is happening. You hear my voice. You see me. You know, things are going to be doing better. But we spent so much 20, 25 years saying, oh, let it go. It ain't that serious. Oh, don't say nothing, whatever. And it became, so now as stuff began to be permeating through, and we started becoming numb to it, now the problem will arise. So now later on down the line, it's later on down the line, we got all this foolishness because we didn't put a stop to it. And as soon as we come to, as collective, as a community, and say no more foolishness, no more the drugs. You know, there's a group called Rap Rats, RAPRATS. They make a lot of beats and hip hop music and things, but they have they're very conscious and positive. One of the songs is about we need that back. One of the lyrics saying that, you know, we pass you the mic, but you misuse the gift, so we need that back. You know, you preach nothing but hate and death and whatever. And you abuse the gift. We're gonna need that back. I should have had that ready, and I'll have it next week. But we need to do better. Hey, Markham. Hey, friend. Hey, Tammy. Oh, gosh, a long time no see, young lady. I miss you. Thank you so much, Markham. Thank you so very much. We got to catch up and things. But and I appreciate all of you for taking the time out to join the program. I appreciate you very much. We got to do better. And as soon as we learn to trust. Say it again, ma'am.
Oh, I just said absolutely. I was glad that it was, for me, it was a good look for Richmond because Sexy Red, her show was canceled because of a lack of ticket sales. So I was happy about that.
I was unaware that was going on. I tell you, I thank you so much for that. I appreciate it.
Yeah. I checked our cancellations, and when I checked them a few months ago, it was Richmond was still on there and Atlanta was still on there. And then when it came time for the Richmond show, it was canceled because of the ticket sales. And she went on to Atlanta. Atlanta can have her.
There you go. You know, Richmond's have had a reputation regarding concerts, but this is one of them that needs to stay that way. We don't need that. We saw what happened when the City Girls came here a few years ago, and that was a mess. We don't need that practice and things. We need to do. We're trying to do better here and a lot of other places, and we need to start building our meccas back and let that be the dominant. Too many people kept saying, "Oh, so and so earning money because it's good." Why does money have to be the justification for it versus your moral value? I could care less if you earn a minute. Listen, I love you or whatever, regardless of treat you, regardless of your money. It doesn't mean anything. You know, Miss Benita Johnson is a multimillionaire. I don't treat her any more than any less, especially the fact that she don't give me no money. But other than that, I mean, still, we need to hold some respect and things. It should not be whether someone's famous, or the number of followers. But we got to do better. But I need everybody to make sure you stay safe on the roads. She's on her way to be. You're there, Queen. You're there. I want everybody to at least, somebody in your family, take a book, write everybody's names down, get their addresses, get their phone numbers, get a mailing list, and send it to everybody. And if they got an issue, too damn bad. Somebody take an account with everybody with their family, what's going on, where they are, write their name, addresses, phone numbers, and birthdays. Okay, let's get that straight. 2, have a damn conversation about your health. I need everybody to put their cards on the table. What's going on with you? Not the little everyday daily aches and pains. Let's not be ridiculous. What you're taking, because what you're taking may not be something you should be taking, because if your family has a history of something of a problem, then we need to have that conversation and Thanksgiving. Okay. 3, let's cut down this fried stuff. Okay. We all know in our Black community, we like the fried things or whatever, stuff like that. Get mad, get sad at me, calling stereotype. I don't give a damn. Let's stop. Okay. Let's cut it down.
Yeah.
4, you know, you're not supposed to be eating, drinking the milk or and get the exercise going. Have a plan. 5, have an emergency plan. Who got a DNR, a will, working will, whatever. Let's get our wills and things like that together. 6, let's have some life insurance discussions. Okay, stop. You know, we all know things happen, and of course, we have our GoFundMe, but that should not be the number one life insurance plan. Okay. 7, accountability. What's going on with your children and who's going to college, who's getting a trade. If they're getting a trade, help them get their business started. If they're going to college, find out what they're doing, how they're doing in school. Still call their teachers, professors. I know they quote unquote grown, but I don't care. Find out what's going on. 8, when who's getting home, everybody must let somebody know, a central person, to know that everybody got home safe. So a mass emails got out so people know what's going on. We've had flight delays, people shooting at planes, airports closing down, safety issues, whatever. Because all this is going on. So let's not be ignorant to the fact of what's going on out there and things like that. 9, know your rights when you're traveling on these roads in these different states. Take care of your vehicles and make sure they're safe because it's getting out there. And 10, thank the Lord that you're there. Thank the Lord that you're safe and what have you, whoever you pray to. Thank you and be safe with each other. If anybody have any questions, comments, or concerns, please, reach out to us. Well, we definitely want to get out to you. Our email is, you'll see at the bottom, enliven, ENLIVENGM @gmail.com. Also, if you're doing any shopping for the holiday season, I have a link here for Amazon. We are an official Amazon affiliate. Mr. Bezos trying to do something with us, I guess. But he hasn't sent us any money, the big money, but we get discounts to open up for a lot of nonprofits and other activities. Use that link before you, it opens up your app or online every time. It won't stay the cookie. So before you use it, please use it for every time you go to shop on Amazon and something out there and help get money to charity in our organization. And we can do a whole bunch more different things out there as well. And also, last but not least, if you want to support our program, it does take a lot to keep this going. We want to make sure we can try to also bless others for the holiday season, and myself and the Silk, everybody else. So please, Cash App, IMMRLP. Venmo, we do have that with the @ same thing, IMMRLP. Also, our PayPal and our Zelle is the enlivengm @gmail.com. So I thank y'all so very kindly for reaching out. May stay with me, Ms. Shai, but everybody else, please stay safe, be good to each other, and have a blessed one. Bye-bye.